Good morning, Year 5, and welcome to our first task in June. June's come along quite quickly. It's a beautiful day out there, has been for a while now. So I thought our task should involve getting you outside, making sure you've got your sun cream on and your hats and not getting too hot. And we're going to be writing a non-chronological report this week. Well, you are. I'll be helping. So most of you will recall that a non-chronological report is a report that's not written in any particular order. It's going to be about facts. Chronological means to do with time. So we don't have to write in any particular order. So you'll all be wondering what it is we're going to be writing about. And some of you might know something about this already. I didn't. This was an idea that my wife gave to me. So I'll be doing this task with you and some of my children starting today. So we are going to spot the spittle. And this is about volunteers going out and looking for, well, when I was little, we used to call it cuckoo spit. We're going to be looking for that in our plants. And I'm going to explain to you why that's something we're going to do. Don't worry, it's not disgusting. It's just fine. Okay. Right. So you've got a comprehension on this as well, which I've put online for you. So this is a newspaper headline: "Volunteers urged to spot spittle on their plants." So it may look unimportant, but if you see something that looks like spit on your garden plants, botanists say you need to let them know. And botanists are people who study plants. Okay? The spittle could be the sign of a deadly plant disease called, now I'm not sure how we say the first word, I'm going to say Xylella fastidiosa, that has affected plants across Europe. The disease is caused by bacteria from the spittle bug. As it travels from plant to plant, it leaves bacteria that stops water from travelling from the roots to the leaves. This is fatal for the plant. If the disease is spotted, then all the plants in a 100-metre radius of the infection need to be destroyed. There are 10 different species of spittlebug in the UK, with the meadow spittlebug being the most common. The sap-sucking insect is a regular springtime visitor to British gardens and is also known as the frog hopper. Well, I never knew that. The nymphs, which are young insects, leave blobs of spittle on plants. Now, it all sounds quite serious. And the thing I thought was most interesting was this 100-metre radius. I was just thinking, would all of us know what a radius is? And a radius is a point, a distance from a point. So if I was to say that was where I was standing, a radius would be 100 metres that way. So I'm just going to go 100 metres that way. But not just that, be 100 metres all the way around, not a very good circle, Mr. Davis, all the way around where I am. So if you can imagine, if you find a spittlebug in the middle here, then all the plants within 100 metres in any direction might have to be destroyed, which I think, as you know, is a very serious thing. Okay, let's move on. Okay. So, what is the spittlebug? So there are 10 varieties of spittlebug. Again, I thought there was one. They are frequently seen in British gardens between April and June, so they are around right now. The nymphs of the young leave a liquid that looks like spit on plants. And I know most of you would have noticed these in the past, wondered what it was. Some of you would have known that there's an insect inside it. And there's bacteria that's left on the plant, and this stops the water travelling from the roots to the leaves of the plant, which obviously has a devastating effect. So there are 563 different plants that the disease can have a big impact on. And when they say big, a devastating impact on. So it's up to us to see if we can find as many of these as possible. Not that you're going to kill them. Right, let's move on. Pretty picture of a flower. So we've done some of this in last term, so it's not surprising that I always wanted to go back and check that we're on our learning. Two types of insect life cycle. There's a complete metamorphosis and an incomplete metamorphosis. A metamorphosis is when something changes. So a complete metamorphosis is when an insect's eggs hatch into larvae, and it doesn't look like the adult, and it eats different food, and then it develops, becomes a pupa, which is what these things are up here, to protect it. And inside there, the larva goes through a complete change, a transformation into an adult insect. So butterflies we know about. The other life cycle is called incomplete metamorphosis, and that's eggs, hatches, nymphs, and the nymphs are basically baby versions of the larger adults. Quite a good way of explaining it. Okay, moving on. So, what are the plant scientists doing? Well, the reason I'm asking you now is that this started last year and they were going to do it again this year, but surprise, surprise, something has got in the way. So, because of the lockdown, they haven't been able to get the information, the data that they need to see where the spittlebugs are. So they're asking the public to go and look for evidence of the spittlebug. So they'll have a map of Britain so they can see where the bugs live. And by preparing thoroughly, they hope they'll be able to predict where the disease will occur and do something about it, prevent it from happening and devastating our own trees and plants. So volunteers are being asked to look in gardens, meadows, grasslands and woodlands for evidence of the spittlebug. Now, I know I've got some in my garden. They particularly like rosemary bushes. So I'm going to be going out there later and have a look with Jem to see if we can find some, see what sort of spittlebugs they are. And then you can complete an online survey if you wish. Okay, so I'm now just going to go and show. So I'm just going to show you another. Okay, so there's some links I put on our weekly learning on the website, but this is another one, and this is from the Royal Horticultural Society. It's the British Botanist Society who's organised it all, and this is where it says what it is they're doing, and it says here they have a partnership with young gardeners as well. And then you can go if you want to. And you'll have to do this with an adult. You can't do this on your own because you have to register. So you can go on and you can enter a record of where you've seen the spittlebug. And then you can put it on your map. It's so clever. I love these things, as you know. Got a bit far in there. Let's go back out again. Gone all the way up into Scotland for some reason. Go back down. There's Bristol. There we go. So we can go into Bristol. Go down, go down. We can find whereabouts we were. Bishop, there we go. So you can mark on the map exactly. You can even put it on your house where exactly you saw the spittlebug. So I think that's really fascinating. So that is what I'm going to ask you to do this week, is to write a non-chronological report. So when you go into here on our weekly report, you can click onto these and Oh, where's he gone? Taking his wild time. Hold on a second. Here it comes. Ah, here we go. And here you can actually see there's kind of a non-chronological report already written for you. It's got some fun facts, what you can do in your garden, some interesting things. So I want you to write a non-chronological report about spittlebugs and the spittlebug hunt and why you're doing it and interesting facts about the spittlebug. But make sure you don't hurt them, because not all of them are dangerous and none of them can hurt you. None of them can hurt you. Some of them can jump, but when they're little, when they're nymphs, which is what they are inside the spittle, they can't bite you. They're just not strong enough. And so you can put them in your hand even and then put them back on the leaf afterwards. So there we are. That's your task for the week. So good luck with that. And I look forward to learning much more from you about spittlebugs. So thank you very much. And I will see you soon. Bye.